Hey guys, I'm Caley Alyssa, and this is a hip opening class. We're going to be doing a 30-minute flow focused on both internal and external rotation, building heat in your body and getting you to sweat. This class is definitely appropriate if you're pregnant, so feel free to jump on in and join us. We're going to get started on our hands and our knees. So come into a tabletop position. And we'll begin with cat-cow first, just with the breath. So inhale, fill the body with breath. And exhale, press into your palms, round your upper back. We'll do a few like this. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Come back to neutral with your spine. And from here, go ahead and find bird dog. So extend your right leg behind you and your left arm in front of you. Watch that you're not lifting your leg up higher than your hip. That tells me you're not using your core. If you are pregnant, I'm about 5 months, you might not be able to use your core as much here. Just stabilize with the rest of the muscles in your body. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bend your knee and elbow out to your side. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, again. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Exhale. Good. Re-extend your arm and your leg. And exhale, release the hand down and the knee down. Go ahead and wiggle your hips a little. You can imagine like you had a big old bushy tail behind you and just kind of check out your tail behind your back. Good, and come back to center. We'll do the second side. So left leg lifts behind you, right arm reaches in front of you. Take a big breath. And on your exhale, bend the knee and elbow out to your side. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Re-extend arm and leg. Exhale, release hand down and knee down. And again, just wiggle the hips side to side. From here, tuck your toes under, and we'll begin to find downward facing dog. So lift your hips, press up and back. And once you get into your dog, you can pedal out your feet, just bending into one knee and then the other knee. Give those hamstrings a moment to open up. And again, we'll use the breath to help us with our movement here. So from down dog, take an inhale. And with your exhale, step your right foot outside of your right hand. Inhale, step back to dog. And then do it with your left foot. Good. Dog. Exhale, right foot. And dog. Exhale, left foot. So keep going side to side, moving with your breath. And you really want to control the placement of the foot, so you're not just flinging it around. Try to step it gently outside of your hands. Good. One more each side. From downward facing dog, just walk your feet gently and slowly up to the top of your mat. If you are pregnant, keep your feet a little bit wider than your hips here. And then go ahead and bend your knees and allow your torso to hang heavy. So you can grab opposite elbow, you can let your head hang, whatever feels best for you. Good. Inhale, fingers to shins, lengthen your spine. Exhaling, fold forward. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhaling, fold. And one more time, lengthen. And fold. From here, fingers to shins and hold it here. So find a flat back, bring your hands to your hips, press into your heels, and slowly come all the way up to standing. Good, turn to face the side of your yoga mat here. Okay, so hands to your hips, draw the right knee into your chest. So you want to find your balance, flex the right foot, breathe here. Okay, internally rotate from the hip. So slowly, without lifting your outer hip up, you might even feel a little cramp there. We're going to internally rotate the right leg. And then we switch it and you externally rotate. We're going to do this one more time. Internally rotate. And then externally rotate. Good. Now take the right leg. Bring it behind you. You want to step really far back and all the way over to the left, placing your right hand down on the ground. Take an inhale. As you exhale, come all the way back up to standing, knee to chest. Inhale, step back and out. Exhale, all the way up. We got 3 more like this. Inhale. You should feel your left hip really working here, and the outer hip, the glute med. Inhale. For 2. Last one. Inhale. Good. And then release the right foot down and switch sides. So from here, plant the right foot onto the mat. Pull the left knee up into your chest. If you do have a big belly here, if you're pregnant, just open the knee a little bit wider to the side. And then internally rotate. So from your hip joint, feel the ball of the femur bone in the hip socket rotating. And then do an external rotation. And then again, internal. And external. Make sure you're breathing. Okay, let's work it. So from here, we're going to swing this left leg back and around to the right, all the way behind. Take a big giant step back there. Left hand to the ground. Take an inhale. Exhale all the way up. Knee to chest. Inhale, step back. Exhale for 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. All right, release. Take your feet even wider. So you want a really wide stance here. As you bend into the knees, they should track directly over your second toe. So don't allow the knees to collapse in. Open them out. Take your arms wide and sink low. So vinyasa means linking breath to movement. So we might not be doing traditional vinyasas yet. We are, though, doing alternative vinyasas here, linking our breath to our movement. So hands come outside of the knees, bend down even deeper. And then inhale, come all the way up. Good. Exhale down. Inhale up. Straighten the legs. Exhale lower. Inhale up. And exhale lower. So keep moving like this. We're going to do about a minute. So you're moving with your breath. Just linking breath to movement. Press into your heels as you rise. Right, really working those outer hips here. Keep going. Watch those knees. Don't let them collapse in. You got about 30 seconds left. We're halfway. So you should be starting to feel it a little bit here. Good. Last 10 seconds. And 5, 3, 2, on 1. Sink back down. Open your arms wide and hold here. Okay, so we're in goddess position or sumo position, right? Bend the knees, knees open, and breathe. I want you to imagine like you had a wall behind your back and you could lean into that imaginary wall behind you so you're not hunched over and rounding forward. You can wiggle as much as you need, but stay with me. Got about 20 seconds here. You can do this. Breathe. Feel your heart rate. Feel your breath. Feel the heat in your body. And just watch what happens in your head. Sink a little deeper. Last 10. Just observe and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, straighten. Reach your arms up, take the hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, parallel your feet. Okay, with the feet paralleled and the hands behind you, roll the shoulders open and lift the chest up. And then exhale, fold from your hips, allowing those arms to lift up and overhead. So now we're getting into the back of the hips, the hamstrings. If you live in a really tight body, walk your feet a little wider apart from each other. And if you live in a super bendy body and your head is touching the floor, you can walk your feet closer together here. Just breathe. Good. Release those hands down to the floor. Inhale, you look forward and lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, turn your toes out and your heels in. Okay, from this position, find Skandasana. So you bend your right knee, and as you bend your right knee, you pop your left toes up to the ceiling. Right knee is bent, left toes up to the ceiling. Breathe here. If it's available for you, take your right shoulder inside of the knee, reach the left arm up. And you might even take that left hand behind your head, leaning the head back, opening up the chest. Good, we'll switch sides. So Skandasana on the left, you bend into the left knee, pop your right toes up to the ceiling. And then from here, you might take that left shoulder inside of the left knee, and you might reach the right arm up. The right hand could also come behind your head, leaning your head back, opening up the chest. Good, and then release, hands down. Come back to that wide-legged straddle, arms straight. Bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to standing. Okay, last thing here, and then we're going to move into more of a traditional flow. So find Warrior 2 on the right. Bend into your right knee. Reach your arms out wide to your sides. And breathe. So again, we'll be moving with the breath so that you're flowing and moving at the same time, working on a hip opening here. On your inhale, reach forward out through your right fingertips. As you exhale, shift into half moon balancing position. And then slowly come all the way back, just as controlled, finding Warrior 2. Again, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, find half moon position. Inhale, step all the way back to your Warrior 2. Okay, so we have 3 more like this. Reach forward, inhale. Exhale, half moon. Inhale, step it all the way back. Exhale, rest. 2 more, reach forward. Half moon. Step it all the way back. And rest. Last time, we'll hold half moon. So as you reach forward, exhale, hold half moon position. Now, if this feels good, you can stay here. If you want a little more, bend your left knee and see if your left hand could reach back, grabbing hold of the foot. If that's available for you, press your pelvis forward and kick the left foot back. So you're now working on your hip flexor and your quad. And just breathe. Good. If you have the foot, you can release, come back to your half moon position. And with control, step it all the way back, warrior two. Good. Straighten the front leg and switch sides. So left foot turns out, right foot turns in. We find warrior two, second side, arms wide here. All right. So let's move with the breath. Reach forward. As you exhale, come up to half moon position. And then inhale, step it all the way back, warrior two. Again, reach forward. Exhale, half moon. Inhale, step it all the way back. So we have 3 more. Move with your breath. Whew, just take it at your own pace. You'll notice you might be a little bit more wobbly on one side. I'm much wobblier, more wobbly on my left. So 2 more. So just try to move slower if you feel a little bit more unstable. And then last one, we hold. So find your half moon position. Hold here. And remember, if you want to take it up a notch, you can always bend the right knee, reach your right hand back there, and grab hold of the foot. Once you've got the foot, press your pelvis forward, especially the outer left hip. And then push the right foot into your hand. Breathe. Good, and slowly, with just as much control as you came into this, release the top foot if you've got it, and step all the way out. Straightening the legs, parallel the feet, and just step your feet together to touch. So come up to the top of your yoga mat. Moving into more of a traditional flow now. Take a big breath in, arms up. And on your exhale, fold forward. Inhale, fingers to shins, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, step back, plank position. Take an inhale in plank. Exhale, lowered chaturanga. Upward facing dog, so big inhale here. And downward facing dog. Good. From down dog, lift your right leg up and back behind you. As you exhale, step forward and come up to high lunge, crescent lunge. Good. Release your hands down. Step back to plank. So lower through chaturanga. You can also do cat-cow here. Big inhale and up dog. Exhaling back down dog. Lift the left leg. Inhale. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, rise to crescent. Exhale, release. Hands down. Step it back. So move through your version of vinyasa. If that's not chaturanga up dog, great. Let it be something else. Find downward facing dog. So we'll do 2 more rounds of this vinyasa sequence. When you're ready, you can walk or hop all the way up to the top of your yoga mat. Okay, inhale, you lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhale up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, fingers to shins, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank. Move through your version of vinyasa. Big breath in. And big breath out. Right leg on the inhale. Step forward. Rising up, crescent lunge, big breath. Exhale, hands down, step back through your vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog. Left leg on the in-breath. Step forward. Inhale, rise to crescent. Exhale, release. Step back and flow. Big breath, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Last round, inhale, lift onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or hop all the way up, top of your mat. Lengthen on the in-breath. Fold on your exhale. Inhale, arms reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last time, inhale up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hands down. Step back or hop back through your flow. So go ahead and do this round all on your own. Just moving with your breath. And once you finish the left side, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. So you can add in or take away whatever you'd like for this last round. Just make it yours. Once you finish, just hold downward facing dog. Slow down your breath. Hang there. Good. This time, walk your hands back to your feet. From here, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach arms all the way up and overhead. So big breath. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. So now you're at the back of your mat. We're going to work on a little bit of balancing here and another hip opening. So bring your hands to your hips and sink down into chair pose. Lift the right knee into the chest. And then internal rotation for a moment. Good. And then externally rotate. Hover the foot above the left thigh for 3, 2. On 1, you can place the foot down on the thigh. Hinge from your hips so you're halfway folded forward. You can keep those hands at your hips, or you could reach the arms out in front of you. Breathe. Watch that your hip doesn't swing over to the left. Last big breath. Come all the way back up. Whew. Pull the right knee into your chest and release the right foot. Just shake out the standing foot a little bit. Good. All right, second side. So hands to your hips. Find that chair pose. Sink down deep. Left knee into the chest. For a moment, internally rotate. And then external. So you hover the foot above your right thigh for a couple breaths. 3, 2. On 1, place the foot on top of the thigh. Sink your hips back and down. Find a 90-degree angle with your right knee as much as possible. And then parallel your torso to the floor. You can reach those arms out in front of you and breathe. Find your breath, slow it down. Last 3, 2. On 1, we come all the way back up. Left knee to chest. And release the foot down. Okay, good. Again, take your legs in a wide-legged straddle. Take your arms wide so you're facing the side of the mat once more. Big inhale. On your exhale, bend your right knee. Sink your hips back. Inhale to center. Exhale, left knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Great, center. And left. Last round, center. And right. Center. And left. Good. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. And then walk your hands just off the mat and walk your feet back off of the mat. Drop your knees down to the ground for frog position. So coming down onto your elbows. Okay, if you need extra cushion here, you can always take the edges of your mat and roll them over. Place your knee on that. Otherwise, just rest here. So now we're working on the inner thighs, the inner hip area, the groin. And breathe. Last few breaths. If you do have a baby bump, let it hang out. And if you don't, you can engage your abs here so you're not dumping into your lower back. A couple more breaths. Really good. Press up onto your hands. Gently allow the legs to close together. And then turn to face forward, top of the mat. All right, so take the feet out in front of you and take the hands just next to you. Place them down on the mat. From here, lift your hips up. Lift your chest up. Reverse tabletop position. Breathe. Good. Slowly release the hips down. And then make sure you're at the front end of your mat here. Grab your shins and lean back. And then just round your spine and keep rounding all the way down. Pull those heels as close as you can get them to your booty. And then relax your head down onto the mat. Okay, so we're going to be doing a few little hip lifts in this position. So make fists with your hands, bend your elbows, and press your shoulders down into the mat. And then as you inhale, lift your hips up. And on your exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So keep moving like this with your breath. Good. Last 3. 2. And 1. Lift back up. Stay lifted. Stay lifted. Bring your feet together to touch. Reach your right leg up. Breathe. And switch sides. Reach your left leg up. Good. Place both feet down. Lift the hips up. Big inhale. And exhale. Come down. Take your feet wider than your yoga mat. And then from here, arms out to your sides. Your left foot comes to your right thigh. Allow the knees to fall to the left. So the great thing about this twist, it releases your back after back bending. It's also safe to do if you are pregnant. Good, and then switch it. Come back to center, place the right foot on the left thigh. Allow the knees to fall to the right. Good, release that. Okay, knees to chest. All you do here is rock and roll up to a seated position. Good. I'm going to turn to face you. You can stay facing the front of your mat, whatever feels best for you. And just a comfortable, easy cross-legged sit. Last thing here, arms up. And exhale, fold forward. So if you don't fold all the way forward, if your head doesn't touch the ground, you can always put a block in front of you and rest your head on that block, whatever feels best in your body. Okay, and then come on up and just switch the cross of your legs, and we'll do that same thing. So inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, fold forward. Good, and then slowly come on back up to seated. Bring your hands to your heart, bow your chin to your chest. Good work.